welcome Jimmy the Antichrist! Girl, I must
Hi, I'm Brett, and I'm a high school senior who does drag in Springfield, Missouri. The question, what is drag, is such a broad thing. There can be so many answers to what it is. But generally, drag is a combination of art forms, usually culminating in some sort of performance that deals in some way with gender.
I mean, it's playing with gender in some way. For the most part, my character is female, but it doesn't have to be. There's drag kings, I dressed up as a cow. You can really do whatever you want as long as it's like self-expression, and it's very like specific, like in performance art. But not everyone is a performer. Not every drag queen does that. Some people just are like look queens and they go out and they serve. And
so the most traditional form of drag is men, typically gay men, dressing up as women in some way and lip syncing on stage. That's the most traditional form of drag, but now there are so many different forms. There are people that just do drag makeup, and so they put really extreme makeup on their faces, and that's drag. And so the performance aspect is modeling and the social media posting and a character that you put on. When I'm in drag, I perform under the name Jimmy the Antichrist, and I know on top of being drag, that makes a lot of people in Springfield cringe a little because it's such a religious thing. But where Jimmy the Antichrist comes from is my freshman year of high school, my humorous interpretation event in speech and debate. I did a piece entitled Jimmy the Antichrist, and it was about this kid that is coming out of the closet, but not as gay. He's the Antichrist. So through that piece, performing my freshman year, I actually came out to my friends and family as gay. And so it kind of mirrored my journey throughout my freshman year. So the story Jimmy the Antichrist has always been special to me. Also, the religious connotation with the Antichrist can be so funny. Like the different visuals and branding that come with that is so funny to me and so great that pairing something meaningful to me with something as campy as like Jimmy the Antichrist it just made sense to be my drag name. I'm sure there are lots of people that are not fine with it or who think it's weird, but like I really truly don't care because I'm happy, I have a good time, and I'm expressing myself. So reconciling being in high school, a super judgmental place, and doing drag has been super easy for me because that kind of working together is something that I've always done. To me, what I'm doing with drag right now is pretty simple and kind of traditional in a way in the format that I'm going through, just because I'm kind of new to it. Right now, I'm just doing the traditional dressing up and lip syncing thing, and I'm doing some photo shoots as well. But I think the whole spectrum of drag is interesting, and I'd love to branch into getting more into makeup looks and more into making my own like full looks. But right now, I just have a lot of fun lip syncing and performing and dressing up and having a good time. Get Dusted is a monthly drag show at the Outland. It's hosted by Crystal Method, and Crystal's whole idea for it is to get people involved in drag that aren't usually involved in drag.
so Springfield's pretty small, and we do have gay bars that have drag shows, but there weren't a lot of options. My drag is a little bit out of the box, and so we just wanted a way to showcase different kinds of drag because there's so many ways to express yourself within the art form. When Get Dusted started, I didn't know any other drag queens, so I would just force my friends to do drag and perform. And they all had fun and they all said it was like a good time. So then once they just told people, other people wanted to experiment with it. So now we're kind of building up a little core group of people, but we're always like welcoming to have a new drag queen join.
So December of 2017, I was the new person that got to perform. And then I performed again in January, and I plan on continuing to perform as long as she'll have me. The first time that I performed, I really don't remember my time on stage because it was just so crazy and insane to me that I was like actually doing something that I had thought about for a long time. And I got off stage and I was like, wait a minute, I just did that.
So I think what's appealing about drag is it's high glamour and shiny and glittery. But I think now that it's like on TV with RuPaul's Drag Race, I think a lot of people want to do it just so they can like get likes on Instagram and become famous. But I think once you get into drag and you start doing it, you'll find what specifically you like about it, and that's how you like build your character and like grow.
I first got into drag and found out about drag is I stumbled upon Drag Race and I started watching that, and then I started following a bunch of drag queens on social media and on YouTube. I started watching drag queen videos and I just really fell into the whole world of it, and I got into the art form of it all. And I have been playing with makeup for a while, but a few months ago I decided like, hey, I want to show some people what I'm doing, and I posted a picture. And Crystal Method let me be a part of her show Get Dusted, and I got to perform at Get Dusted. I find so much inspiration in lots of places, from drag queens to just art in general. But some of my favorite people to look at for inspiration are Alaska, I like Katya, Milk, my friend Diabetti and Lux. They're really cool. They're local drag queens in Springfield, and they're really talented, and it's so crazy to have so much talent here in Springfield. So there's so much that goes into a drag show performance. So the first thing that I like to think about is what my performance is going to be. So personally, what I do is I like to put together multiple songs and sometimes iconic like quotes. So like sometimes that's a movie or a Vine or anything like that. Since I have some background in working with video and audio, that's one of my favorite parts, is putting together that performance and using the computer and my editing skills to put that stuff together. So I put together my lip sync, and then I come up with a look. Sometimes I work with my friend Drake, and Drake designs some really cool looks for me. So Drake designed a look that went kind of with the toxic poison theme, and he started making that. And while he started making that, I got my other stuff together, which is my makeup and my hair. I ordered this green wig that I was super excited about. Once I got my green wig, I styled it how I wanted it to look. And then you just have to put it all on, make sure you know your words that you can lip sync to, and you go up on stage the day of and you do it. The crowd at Get Dusted is always crazy. The few times that I've performed, I've been really well received, thankfully. And I mean, everybody's well received because everybody's fantastic there. But when you get on stage, it just feels different when everybody's cheering for you. In debate, I'm just standing in a classroom performing for people that are being quiet while they watch me. And so getting up on a stage where people are yelling at you and handing you money is insane and so much fun. Drag makeup is way different than regular makeup. So the first step to drag makeup is taking an Elmer's glue stick and gluing down your eyebrows, because you can't just have normal brows on like a male brow bone because it's way too low set for like a feminine face. So the first thing is you cover your eyebrows, then I usually go in with my foundation, then I like to do like a minimal contour just to like kind of make my face look less like an egg. Then I go into my eyeshadow. After eyeshadow, I do brows, and then once I have like my basic face, I'll go in with contour again and make sure everything is still looking crisp. I'll finish my lips, and then I do freckles, and then I also do an upside down cross that I add on as like my finishing touches. Performing is so much fun. I've always been a performer. In middle school, I did like shows at the community theater. I did a show here at high school. In speech and debate, I do a crazy performance that isn't like any other event in speech and debate. I am involved in so many things at school. I have a job, and now I'm also doing drag, which means I like literally have no free time. And so I'm really busy, but I'm busy doing things that I love. I just like performing and putting myself out there and being characters. And so even just putting on the costume of my drag character, Jimmy, is so much fun for me. But on top of that, performance it just gives me this high feeling of just happiness and adrenaline and all of the things that I want to feel. But the most rewarding part of drag is not the tips, although those are nice. It's two things. It's the feeling I get from just doing it, and the sense of community that I've gained from the Springfield drag community are the best things about drag.